everybody. I am at the Totally Rad Vintage Festival. So now, as you know, I am a big retro enthusiast, a big nostalgia addict, and if you're watching this, you probably are too. So let's go check out this festival, see what we can find. Maybe we'll find some treasures. Come with me. So it looks like there's a lot to see here. Let's go treasure hunting and see what we can find today. Here we have some 90s style windbreakers. I feel like everyone had one like this back in the 90s. Look at this, that lovely teal color. So when I was a kid, there was a lot of like protect the rainforest, save nature stuff going on. Whatever happened to that? Did we save the rainforest? Did we win? Or did we all just kind of give up? Aliens, that was another thing that was really popular in the 90s. I remember just all kinds of alien toys and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff with aliens on it. There was alien movies, Men in Black, Independence Day, and people were just legitimately scared of an alien invasion or alien abductions. It was a crazy time. Oh, here we have some cool retro sweaters. Just look at these. I don't know if any of these are men's or if they would fit me or not, but look at that. You walk around looking like a stained glass window. So I'm actually a big denim enthusiast, and these are really cool. We have some copper riveted Wrangler cowboy jeans in black. These are really neat. Oh no, this is Shuttle Columbia. I think this was the one that blew up. Yikes. Look at this beautiful Levi's Sherpa jacket. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a really cool looking work shirt right here. I love these old school denim jackets. Okay, so we have this really cool Japanese print shirt, but I noticed this. This is from Kmart. That's really cool. I don't think that's gonna fit me, but that's awesome. I remember back in the 90s, Looney Tunes were on everything. Just on the backs of cars, everybody was wearing Looney Tunes shirts. It was a big deal. And then it just kind of stopped. Here we have a Insane Clown Posse shirt. Oh, look at all this cool stuff they have here. E.T. And look at all these cool lunch boxes. They have Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Batman, Jurassic Park. This was all the stuff I loved as a kid. Look at this really extreme, intense Wolverine and Sabretooth shirt. That's really neat. Look at this vintage Disney World shirt. That's really cool. Here we have an INXS shirt. One of my favorite bands. I would buy this, but I don't think it's gonna fit me. I just love the colorful 90s era aesthetic that they have on all these shirts. Like, I remember being a kid and seeing this stuff all over the place. Just look at this. Oh, it's amazing. Arsenio Hall shirt. Wow. Let's look at some of the stuff they have here. Oh, that's cool, that Megadeth shirt. Oh, Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, 1990. Wow. That's cool to see that. We have X-Men. X-Men were huge in the 90s. And over here we have Terminator 2. Great movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. All kinds of great stuff here. Really takes me back. See, we have more Looney Tunes stuff, and they were always doing something like skateboarding or like, you know, trying to look hard or something. I don't know what it was about the 90s and Looney Tunes, but they loved Looney Tunes. Simpsons, really cool old school Bart Simpson shirt. Here's another thing that's just straight from the 90s. Beanie Babies. I remember everyone was buying Beanie Babies and thinking that they were gonna appreciate in value and they're gonna sell them off and make millions of dollars. That did not turn out well. So NASCAR was very popular in the 90s, and Jeff Gordon, he was the biggest star. He was such a good driver. You either loved him or you hated him. Now, I grew up in a family where they hated Jeff Gordon. My dad was not a fan of Jeff Gordon, and anytime this car would wreck, he would be cheering. So, my house was not a Jeff Gordon house. Just look at the awesome colors on these windbreakers. These are just so cool. Okay, so here we have the Rad Rewind Museum. Let's see what they have on display. So these are some old Game Boys. We have the Game Boy Advance. I think I had that exact same unit. And then we have the Game Boy Color, which was very popular when that came out. And this is the flip Game Boy. I forget what that was called, but I remember that one. And over here we have the original big blocky Game Boy that was only in green and black. Here we have some of the less popular items from Nintendo. We have Rob the Robot, which didn't really work as intended. It was supposed to move with commands from the... I don't know how it was supposed to work actually, but it didn't. And then we have the Power Glove, which looks a lot cooler than it actually was. And down here we have the Virtual Boy, known for being one of the worst video game consoles ever created, and the Super Scope, which was sort of like a light gun for playing games like Duck Hunt and things like that. So here we have some old cell phones through the years. We have this one, which is the old briefcase phone. Look at that thing. That's awesome. And we have the famous Motorola brick phone. You'd always see like 1980s stockbroker type guys holding this and making some deals. I don't know how well it worked, but it's huge. And that's really cool. We have the Motorola from 1989. We have the Palm Pilot. And we have some Nokias right here. Those were good phones when they came out. We have the BlackBerry. And then finally, the very first iPhone, which kind of revolutionized the world when you really think about it. And here we have the first iPad. I forgot just how big these things were. Like, look at how thick that is. And we carried those around in our pockets, and we weren't upset about it. And here we have hit clips, which were sort of like these little cartridges that you'd put in the player, and they'd play like 8 seconds of the song. I never actually had one of those. I heard that they weren't very good. Okay, so we have some dangerous toys of the 80s and 90s. We have the rollerblading Barbies, which had little flints in the skates that would spark when they would move, and I guess they were a fire hazard. We have sock 'em boppers, which were big inflatable things you'd put on your fists and then just kind of wail on each other with. Okay, so I remember these things, and they were called jibba jabbers. And the reason that these were taken off the market is because there were concerns that they could encourage people to shake babies. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. Here we have the Snack Time Cabbage Patch doll, which its mouth would move, and kids were getting like their fingers like pinched in that. We have the Skip It. I remember everybody had a Skip It. I guess you could trip on that accidentally. And we have yard darts, which were basically a lethal weapon. And we have the pogo ball. I remember playing with those a lot when I was a kid. Those were fun. You'd stand on them and you'd try and bounce, and you'd probably end up hurting yourself. NBC Studios with that old peacock logo. Look at that. That's really cool. Okay, so this is really cool. We have another denim jacket, and it's from Sears. It still has the Sears logo on the tag there. And these old school Wranglers. Here, this vest, Roebuck, who merged with Sears at one point in time. So here's another throwback. We have a jacket from the Disney store. That's another thing that just does not exist any longer. And if we look on the back, we have the whole crew. So this is a t-shirt, I guess, with a dead Saddam Hussein on it. Definitely dated humor there. And we have more of this like Save the Rainforest type stuff that was very popular back then. So this is a Bugle Boy shirt, which is a very popular brand for young men's back in the early 90s, late 80s. I remember having jeans from this brand. Alanis Morissette. So this is really beautiful. This is a work coat, and it's from Sears. And if we look, it has Sears embossed on all the buttons. Yeah, look at that. So here's something else I completely forgot about. The Page Master animated movie starring Macaulay Culkin. Wow, I haven't thought about that in years. I guess he went into a library and he had sort of these anthropomorphic book characters who were his friends. You know, I don't think I ever saw it, but I remember seeing previews on TV for this movie. So this is a shirt for the band Winger. Ain't that something else? So on this table, we have different Joe Camel merchandise. Joe Camel was a very controversial advertising campaign back in the 90s for Camel cigarettes, and it was very controversial at the time because it was considered like advertising to children, and so they had to axe the character altogether. Look at these cool Disney markers. They just caught my eye right there. And we have some old toys, old Happy Meal toys. We got Rugrats, more Looney Tunes stuff. Over here we have some sports merchandise. I want some VHS tapes. Let's see if there's anything good. There's Alien 3. That's an underappreciated movie. We have Independence Day, Coyote Ugly, Joe Dirt. Look at all these. They actually have the Macarena on cassette. That ruled the summer of 1995. Look at this. Did your mom or your grandmother wear something like this back in the 90s? That's really incredible. It's hard to believe that things like this existed. Vanilla Ice. Take a look at this cool War Machine cutout. That's really neat. Okay, so I just have to point out something. This Sesame Street bed sheet. I want to say either I had this or somebody in my family had this, because I remember having this and sleeping with this. So they have a vintage arcade set up with different arcade cabinets, and it looks very busy. I don't know if I'll get a chance to go and play any of them. And so they even have this little photo spot, a recreation of what your room looked like back in the 90s. Let's look at all these posters here. Remember doing that? Just cutting out pictures from magazines and sticking them on your wall? I remember I used to do that, and my room was full of Limp Bizkit and Korn and bands like that. Oh, look at that, we have Batman. That's from a Tool album. That's Little Richard. Down here we have Jim Morrison. Wow. Very cool stuff here. So if we look at this blanket, it's all just different pieces of Tommy Hilfiger jeans. They were a big deal back in the 90s. If you weren't wearing Tommy Hilfiger, you weren't one of the cool kids. Now we have more photo ops here. We have this one with all different athletes from back in the day. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm not into sports. We have this one, the brick wall, and some vintage posters here saying "Save the Planet." Well, that was certainly a lot of fun. A lot of cool throwbacks to be seen there. Let me show you what I picked up here at the Vintage Fest. So I grabbed these great enamel pins of some 80s bands that I listen to regularly and I really enjoy. We have Eurythmics, Duran Duran, Missing Persons, and Adam Ant. All vintage pins, very old, really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to put these on my jacket. And I did take home this amazing Sears Chores coat. I could not say no once I saw these buttons. Just look at these. So now there's two things I'm very geeky about: denim and old school department stores. So this kind of combines my love for both of them in one item, one perfect item. So I'm very happy to have this. Let me just show you the other sleeve here. It's a little more beat up than I would usually pick up, but you know, come on. Look at these buttons. This is amazing. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this trip to the Totally Rad Vintage Fest. I had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.